Tonight, we're going to take you inside the Trump war room with his campaign manager, the first woman to run a Republican presidential campaign. She is honchoing an operation in crisis with a candidate who today declared that, quote, the shackles have come off. With the latest installment of our new series, Inside the Final 30, here's my Nightline co-anchor, Juju Chang.
We're on our way to meet the woman who's at the center of all these storms blowing through the Trump camp this week. Her name is Kellyanne Conway. She is his campaign manager.
No, she's very defensive and never managed to defend herself. Donald Trump is absolutely correct, and he's a natural communicator. He is focusing on the issues.
Okay, we have 12 seconds to cross. Talk about deadline pressure. So I'm hoping that we can get all our questions in. We don't have a lot of time, and it's a pivotal, time in the election. 28 days to go.
Outside, I meet John Santucci, ABC's off-air reporter who's been covering the Trump campaign nonstop for 16 months.
Are you all right? Yeah. Have you slept at all lately?
No.
So tell me about Kellyanne.
She's the first female to run a Republican campaign. I mean, her life has been a pollster, right? So she knows the numbers, right?
And her specialty is appealing to women.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why she's frankly been the greatest surrogate he's ever had.
The 49-year-old mother of four helping lead the charge as her candidate is locked in a war of words.
It's just words, folks. It's just words.
Children listen to what is being said.
So this is definitely your stomping grounds, isn't it?
Yeah.
Despite scathing backlash and top-tier Republicans jumping ship, Kellyanne Conway has stood firm with her candidate.
How are you? Good to see you.
Conway emerges and takes me on a tour of the Trump war room.
I think they sleep here.
Here.
And we actually, I guess if anybody's hair or pants are on fire, they'll run down the hallway and tell me.
There's been like a Twitter storm today. If I can read you his tweet where he said, disloyal R's are far more difficult than crooked Hillary. I will teach them. What is he going to teach them? Is he waging civil war in the Republican Party?
No, when he says I'm going to teach them, he means he's going to win. Look, it's been very disappointing to not have the support of the rank-and-file Republicans and some of the leaders. I mean, Mitt Romney had all the king's horses, all the king's men, all their money, all of the support. Even those of us who did not support him in the Republican primary in 2012 came around to help our party's nominee.
Conway is actually Trump's third campaign manager, brought in just 2 months ago after Paul Manafort got the axe.
Look. This is just,
That's Paul Manafort?
If I clean...
That's amazing.
Well,
this is how hard you've been working that you haven't even...
If I clean, it's at home.
Let's talk about women in the context of the Access Hollywood tapes, because he dismissed the taped remarks as locker room banter. If your son said those words, would that be okay?
Grab him by the...
Well, if he said those words at 11, I would wash his mouth out with soap and figure out where he heard them. Let's not look over what else Mr. Trump said. He said he was embarrassed. He hated seeing it, and he apologized, and he did it several times now.
These four very courageous women have asked to be here.
And Conway says she agreed with the decision to bring Bill Clinton's accusers together publicly just before Sunday's debate.
Were you in favor of that?
Yes, I was. I was in favor of that.
But a lot of people do say, I'm not voting for Bill Clinton, I'm voting for Hillary.
It's not about Bill Clinton, it's about the way she treated them.
Today, the Trump campaign touting newly released Clinton emails as evidence of her dishonesty, that special favors were given to Clinton friends during the relief efforts after the 2010 Haiti earthquake.
As people were dying in Haiti, Clinton insiders were separating out requests from friends of Bill.
We saw the email with Clinton State Department seemingly coordinating with Clinton Foundation. What's your reaction?
I was pretty sickened to read the reporting because I just feel like there's a lot of grifting and gifting going on while people are suffering.
State Department spokesman John Kirby today told ABC News the agency served as an important coordinating hub for U.S. and international relief efforts. The Clinton Foundation said that no special treatment was expected or given. Conway's job, often on damage control, is 24/7. Her workload even spoofed on SNL.
Of course, Donald didn't hold up a little cup of his own semen at a rally and say, this becomes a person? No way.
But he did say that. There's tape.
What do you want me to say? Yes, he said that. He's crazy.
No, I thought that was hysterical. It really, my cousin said to me, did you allow them to follow you around for 2 or 3 days?
So it's more of a documentary than a parody, is what you're saying?
I'm not a good painter. And I've never done yoga.
She used to support his one-time adversary, Ted Cruz. She had been among the crowd of people calling for Trump to release his tax returns.
It's completely transparent. Donald Trump's tax returns aren't. I'd like to see those be transparent.
Warren Buffett challenged Donald Trump by saying, I'm releasing my taxes even though I'm under audit. Do you think he should release his taxes?
I agree with Donald Trump on this because his lawyers and accountants, since I took this job, have counseled me on it, and they've advised against him releasing them until the audit is over.
But when you look at the battleground states, are there any that are do or die for you?
It's not a surprise. Our eyes, like hers, are on Florida.
The most recent polls today showing Clinton has a 9-point lead over Trump in the wake of Sunday's debate and holds a 3-point edge over Trump in Florida.
Pennsylvania is a place where Mr. Trump went yesterday, again, to just these uproarious, huge crowds that want to see him. And it's a state where they say, oh, but a Republican hasn't won it. Well, he's not a typical Republican candidate.
Al Gore.
Today, Hillary Clinton held a rally in Miami with Al Gore, who until now hasn't been campaigning, bringing up sore memories for the one-time presidential candidate.
Your vote really, really, really counts. You can consider me as an exhibit A of that truth.
My colleague Terry Moran was there in the crowd.
I'm running against a guy who denies science, denies climate change.
To find out what some of the most sought-after voters think about how much, for candidates, words matter.
When you dress like this and you're volunteering for Hillary, and you go out, people will say things.
Oh, yes.
What happens?
I had one man tell me that he's registered to vote and he's also registered to have sex with me.
What?
Yes, absolutely.
And these were people who were...
I felt that Trump is now encouraging this younger generation that you can go ahead and just touch a woman without her permission and think it's fine.
When you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the I can do anything.
I was extremely disturbed by the tapes. By calling it locker room talk just perpetuates this idea that what he said wasn't important and that somehow his words don't mean anything and that words don't have power, because words do have power.
Assault survivor Brenda Tracy has spent a lot of time thinking about the idea of locker room talk.
The first thing I do is I tell my story. I try to make sure that I humanize the issue of sexual assault, and that sexual assault is something that happens to everyone.
Tracy travels the country speaking to football teams about fighting rape culture and resents Donald Trump's implication that his words were just idle talk.
He's perpetuating a culture of violence, that he is degrading and demeaning to women. He's not helping to keep us safe.
What would you say to the women out there who would say, after this tape, how could she? How could Kellyanne Conway work for Donald Trump?
I believe when he expressed contrition and humility, I'm someone who believes in forgiveness and mercy, and had he not sought it, it may be a different situation.
And we're out of here.
We have some protesters out front.
The crowds outside Trump Tower not so forgiving, waving signs about Trump's so-called locker room talk.
It's going to be a long 28 days, that's for sure.
I bet it is.